Looks as if the battle is on for second and third place. Those are valuable points, especially if you were Spain, Canada, and of course the Australians always seem to be in the mix. And here it is, the final mark, and it will be France making that left-hand turn heading towards the finish line.
Yeah, well set up here. Looks like the wind had turned to the right, so those people that had come to the bottom right-hand corner of our screen sailed a lot less distance and in more wind.
And in race number 5 on day 2 at the Oracle San Francisco Sail Grand Prix, the Emirates winning moment goes the way of the French.
After a tough finish yesterday, wasn't it, where they lost that win? Oh, it's tight in there. Spain dive inside. I think they did have rights. They did just. Huge move by the Spanish. That makes a big difference to our overalls. Tom Slingsby will hate that. Absolutely snuck in on board
And look
Spain.
at Canada, though. Canada has the speed. Can they get the pass?
I think they're going to struggle to get through the disturbed wind, but it's another place game. 2 places lost for Australia. That's going to put them right back into the fight to make the final.
Big maneuver by Spain and Diego Botín. Australia now will come in 5th.
Well, Emirates Great Britain, look, they're right in the melee. They still, of course, on the leg going back up towards the next mark, right at the back of the pot there. Slingsby will hate that. Remember at the end of Los Angeles, Todd, Slingsby said every point counts. How crucial will those 2 points be as this day goes on?
So now the battle is on for 7th place. It is currently being held by Red Bull Italy with the Black Foils of New Zealand. We haven't spoken much about them in this race. They look like they're going to grab an 8th.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing for the New Zealand team there. The Black Foils are going to be really disappointing. That puts them, they're still in the mix here. They're going to be 6th, but they're over 10 points out of the final with just 2 races left. So they're really relying on some big mistakes from the teams in front.
Germany, Deutsche Bank holding on to 9th. Here come the Americans, US Sail GP trying to close down and see if they can get it done. It's not going to be the case.
Inside, Todd. Look, there's that mark. They can just sneak inside. They've got the right of way. You've got to thread the needle there. Oh, Botín, full of confidence and aggressive. And they not only did they dive inside, but they execute the maneuver and look up and foiling already. That was pure aggression.
What a great race as Germany Deutsche Bank just edges out the Americans to claim that point in 9th. The U.S. gets 10th, and Emirates GBR really struggling. They'll come across in 11th. So let's go back and take a look at a very exciting race number 5, the first race of the day on Super Sunday.
Well, of course, the start was pretty clean, and Canada absolutely nailed their timing there. But it was the Swiss on the inside who really drove towards Mark 1 in a strong position. You see how high they were pushing. And here we go, crucial decision time. And when you're in the lead, you get to control that. Canada were held out by the Swiss. France went early, Switzerland went early. It lined up well. Those 2 then led away from here.
And we saw a bit more of a split than we maybe thought before the first race of the day. And Mubadala Brazil came out really nicely from that left turn, splitting from the fleet.
Yeah, and we see it was really tight the whole way through. There's splits in it, but what was the key feature I think we want to look for today is at the moment there's more wind away from San Francisco. So the left-hand side of our shoreline, that's where France go. Left-hand turn here, and they headed upwind. And what I'm hearing actually is that they had an incident with GBR after the finish. They got a penalty for not seeing them. France have actually had 20 seconds added to their time. They're back to 2nd in that race. They lose points, Todd. Yeah, breaking news from Chief Umpire Craig Mitchell.
So as we take a look at the Emirates fly time, at first we'll take a look at the standings as it is right now. 5 races in, North Star Canada with the lead, 42 points on Australia's 38. Spain on 37, and France with that penalty, they drop back to 4th place on 33. So we'll see how it all plays out. We've still got 2 more fleet races to go here in San Francisco. Now it's time to show you the Emirates fly time. Goes the way of the Swiss, 100%, Hannah. You cannot get much better than that.
No, that's right. And these are just perfect foiling conditions for the F50 today.
Off and running on Super Sunday here at the Oracle San Francisco Sail Grand Prix. This is Event 5, the Rolex Sail Grand Prix Championship. And we are just getting started. 2 more fleet races and, of course, the grand finale, the event final here at San Francisco Bay.
We're waiting foiling for Sail GP as part of their Inspire program, doing a little demonstration for the fans and trying to inspire the next generation of sailors.
It's super exciting to be so close to the boats. They're just huge and so cool to see right there.
We're looking at a little bit of rain. Some clouds could affect the breeze, but hopefully it'll be a good day.
I'm so psyched to get out there today.
I'm so excited to be out here.
We set a vision to help improve social inclusion in our sport of sailing and foiling. So we're looking to break down barriers, showcase possibilities and create opportunities for people. So we've seen the wing foilers out here in San Francisco. This is the second event this season where we've had local young wing foilers out on the water showing what they can do so that we can show young people across the world that they can do foiling too. We want to create opportunities for the future of foiling. We want foiling to grow. We want it to become a really established sport in the world of sport. And we want to just help get as many people into the sport, inspire the next generation to get out foiling.
Sail GP's app takes fans to another level. Using Liveline AI and augmented reality, we bring you another dimension to your Sail GP experience.
There's 5 wide around mile 1.
Both in the grandstand or when watching at home.
Wait, look at the fans on the shoreline there. They'll be loving what they're seeing.
With the latest GPS technology, never miss a second of the action with our fully immersive features such as live stats, umpire view, and go on board with your favorite team with every camera available at your fingertips. Download the Sail GP app now to be part of the action.
Flying carbon machines driven by the world's best. Yes, powered by nature, powered by nature. We are Sail GP.
And Super Sunday has arrived at the Oracle San Francisco Sail Grand Prix. Stevie Morrison, Hannah Diamond, Lisa Darmanin, and Todd Harris with you. Huge crowds here in San Francisco, California. The second event on the west coast of this U.S. this month. The 2025 season has already seen nail-biting action in the Middle East, Australia, and New Zealand, and last week's event in L.A. But the action stays on the Western Hemisphere until June, with a first visit to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Sail GP's American adventure continues.
Looks like pure drama out there, doesn't it?
Oh, did it crash? Oh!
For the first time, the league heads to South America and Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Then, the Big Apple is the final stop on the 4-part Americas Tour.
Oh, that's a disaster. It was so tight.
Make sure you're in the grandstand at Governor's Island to witness the F-50's flyby in New York City. Looking forward to that great racing both in Brazil and New York City. We are now just 80 seconds away from the start of the second race of the day. This will be race number 6, and to confirm what Stevie Morrison reported earlier, it is France that officially gets the win in race number 5, as France is delegated back to second. So that's a big maneuver, Hannah. We talk about it, every point matters. They get 1 point less.
Yeah, and that's going to be really crucial for the race to the final. They're going to have to keep pushing these next 2 races and see if the chips fall in their favor.
All right, so everyone going into the start box now, 50 seconds to go. It is the Americans that lead it in. They need a big result here, Stevie, in a big-time way. But if you're Canada, Spain, Australia, France, do you play it safe here?
I'm not sure you can at this stage. No, I think you've got to get there's no playing it safe in this start. You've got to get off the line. If you're in the pack, anything can happen. But for New Zealand, for Switzerland, for France, you've got to go and win this race if you want to have a shot at it now. Right-hand side of the screen, Emirates, Great Britain. I think they've blown it in terms of making the final. They're on damage limitation. Top of screen, New Zealand well positioned. De La Pierre once again out back. He's coming in hot, and the Rolex predictor sits on board the Italians, but they're going to have to execute, and they've got a few people charging at them here. 13 seconds to go. I like New Zealand and Italy in the middle of the line. 9 seconds, 8 seconds. Australia are going to be late. The Kiwis are going to come through fast. You've got to win this race, Peter Burling. How have you got it timed? Oh, they're fast in the middle of the line. New Zealand, the black foils are going to have the quicker angle, but Spain, I think, will be able to hang on the inside. It's going to be an absolute drag race to mark 1.
Almost neck and neck, the champions from last year and the black foils, New Zealand, as they approach mark number 1 here in race number 6.
Oh, Emirates Great Britain have done a great job of hanging on in the inside. Australia going well as well this time, and it's Canada and France out the back that we get to. Oh, big incident! Emirates Great Britain, they put it down there. They got two heeled over. Oh, they've just had a massive incident. Spain have had to peel away, and Emirates Great Britain, oh, it just keeps getting worse for them. Look, middle of the pack, just getting sailed around there on aboard Emirates Great Britain. They just got two heeled at Mark 1, and it all went badly wrong, I think. Spain, they've capitalised on that. They're away, and New Zealand in second. Well, New Zealand have got to win this race and hope that Canada and Australia drop back in the fleet. Here we go. We're getting a little replay, Todd. Here we go. Watch the left-hand side, the rudder there. The boat's going to heel over a bit. The rudder's come out. There you go. Rudder pops out. There's no downforce. All of a sudden, the downforce goes, and it gets very, very wet. Left-hand side of screen, a 60, 70, 80 kilometres an hour fire hose for Hannah Mills in the bottom cockpit there. She's going to take some recovering from that. And now, back on the racetrack. Well, the black foils are going to try and cut the corner here. They've got to try and get the inside at the bottom of the course.
Diego Botín doing a great job there defending his position. So does Spain in first. New Zealand sits in second. Here comes Australia lurking in third. The Italians also there in fourth. And it looks like Seb Schneider's going to try something. He's going to carry this and stretch the course.
Yeah, trying to push a little bit wide. I'm surprised a few more boats might not think about turning left. You see this confused water?
Right.
That's the current lines. That's because the tide's starting to move from right to left a bit more, and it is different from close to the shore and offshore. So there will be a difference of tide here. There will be a current against you, and I think New Zealand are heading back to where there's more wind.
So, Hannah, can you sail through that mess right there in the center of the screen? Is that treacherous, or you just cut right through it?
You can definitely sail through it, but you'll feel it on the foils. The flight controllers will have to deal with that all the way through. But the difference is going to be what difference it makes to your strategy. I think the Kiwis have had to turn that way because of where they were set up, but we'll see how they come back. Speaking
of the conditions down in the water, let's check in with Lisa Darman. And Lisa, has anything changed since the last race in the last 10-15 minutes?
Yeah, it actually looks quite a bit lighter across the course. So those in the back of the pack, they're definitely struggling a little bit more. Still think that there's options to sort of play the tactics. I guess it's quite gusty out here still. But yeah, overall, a lot lighter and more challenging.
Moments ago, we took you on board that T-Mobile for Business 5G camera angle. You got a good look there as Spain has now stretched their lead out to almost 100 meters. New Zealand sits in second, Australia in third. Here comes Red Bull, Italy, Switzerland. Seb Schneider, Stevie, they're feeling some confidence today.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a good year in the middle of the race. I saw on Carl Langford, the wing trimmer on Red Bull Italy. I saw on his Instagram, he said we're second in the B fleet. And there has been a little bit of a sort of split in the fleet, I think, that we've seen. But the Swiss are very much striding towards the top of that, making the gains they need to make. And here we come into the Oracle Cloud. This is the head-to-head we want to see. We see there the Kiwis, they're going fast and their average speed is highest, but they're not quite tactically putting it together. I think that the Spanish at the moment, look, they found a little rotation in the wind. They're sailing nearly directly up these ladder lines, whereas New Zealand are not making a lot of progress towards the next gate. So big gain, and it's a tactical gain by the Spanish right there.
And there you see the race to the final on the left-hand side right now. As it stands, you'd have Australia, you'd have Spain, and you'd have Canada in with France just missing out. So expect the French, Hannah, to start pushing it, maybe taking some more chances?
Yeah, I think they're going to need to. I mean, Canada are back in 11th at the moment, but for the French, if they can just pick up a few more points in this race, that would make a better case for them making the final.
Big problem for them, Todd, Spain being out in the lead. They're their closest rivals, the Spanish, at the moment, but not at the moment because Spain are just heading off down the road. Australia well set at the moment in the race to the final. They're in good shape, but Spain would be leading the overall standings at the moment. And again, New Zealand, well, they've got to get a good result here. They've got to take it on. The Rolex chasing time, they're within 2 seconds, but for me, it's a bigger lead to the Spanish than that.
So here comes a maneuver almost in sync with the black foils behind them. It is Spain out in front, New Zealand sitting in second, top of your screen. That is Australia coming in as well, with the Swiss sitting in fourth. This is gate number 3, the top of the course as they'll spin it around. This is like 3 of 6, so halfway through this race. Remember, we still have one more fleet race to go before we cut the field to only the top 3.
Could be a good little moment for Australia here. I imagine they're going to try and go right turn. They've got to keep clear of New Zealand, but leading off of a right turn, I like that move by Tom Slingsby. He's opened up the course here, and he's potentially sailing back to the side where there's been more wind.
Watch the US.
Constant communication on board the boat. Speaking of communication, we want to communicate once again with Lisa Darman, who's down in the water. Lisa, we're starting to see the fog kind of creep in on that top end of the course. Is that going to affect the conditions at all?
Yeah, I mean, the fog has generally brought the wind in it, and it has just increased. So, you know, France just rounding the mark. They're in a really beautiful path. I actually think Spain might get the advantage here over Australia heading towards that shoreline.
There it is, Spain on the top of your screen. They won the title last year after Australia ruled for 3 straight years. And there is the race to the final, courtesy of the Oracle Cloud. It is Spain and Australia even on 47. Canada still in there at 42. But, Steve, that's a big gap to France. That's 4 points.
Yeah, it's huge. And Spain are sailing well, aren't they? Australia right of way here. New Zealand need to be confident to get across. They are not confident. They choose to dip behind. That means they are behind. So good news for Australia there. And it's a hard manoeuvre. You can see he couldn't quite judge it perfectly behind. You might think it's quite easy to just gently dip behind, but they're coming together. Their closing speed's about 130 kilometers an hour, so judging that's pretty hard.
And if you're France, Hannah Diamond, are you cheering for another team? You need some help, obviously, because they're sitting in 4th place with that 4-point gap, so they need someone to put some points and take some points away, I guess, from Canada and some of the other teams.
Well, in the position they're in at the moment, all they can do is try and climb the leaderboard.
Right.
They're going to gain 6 points from the Canadians if the results stay like this, so that very well could happen in the next race.
On board with France as they currently sit in 5th place. Spain has made the turn. Australia will split the course. Here come the Kiwis. Looks like they're going to follow Spain, and then Switzerland in 4th.
Yeah, the Swiss have sailed a nice job here, and we see in this race to the final, as we say, it's really all about the battle between Canada and France at the moment. Canada can't do any worse than they are in this race, so it's going to come down to a bit of a showdown in the next race for sure, and France are starting to have to hope for mistakes from some of the other teams. And right now, the Australians and the Spanish, well, we saw this in the championship final, the grand final at the end of last year. It looked like this in a battle for 2 million. Are they going to go head-to-head in the grand final here as well?
What would be interesting, Stevie and Hannah, is if Spain gets into that final and wins, that would give us 5 different winners in 5 events. So the parity is certainly on in Season 5 for SailGP.
Yeah, there's just a lot of excellence out on that race course, isn't there? A lot of people, it's a much more open course, isn't it, Hannah? But it seems like it's not bad to do a right turn at the bottom and then get away from that San Francisco shore as soon as you can.
Yeah, I think you take the right turn at the bottom if it allows you to come offshore, further away from that San Francisco shoreline, further up the course. That seems like a bigger priority for the teams.
Yeah, so good news for where New Zealand are heading at the minute here, Todd. I wouldn't be surprised to see potentially a little gain, although they're probably not going to be able to get to the top mark without doing another 3 manoeuvres, which does then put an advantage back. Every time you manoeuvre, you're going to lose distance.
On board with the Swiss.
Bye. Do you want Arno? Press a touch.
Look at the different boat speeds here, Todd. Bottom of our screen, New Zealand, well, they're just turning. They were at 55, 56. Australia have taken a long time to re-accelerate in the lighter wind near the shore there. As we see, the Spanish are going all the way into the shoreline. They're nearly at the ley line, but they're going to have to do 2 more manoeuvres. Australia, if they can get to this yellow line at the bottom of our screen, that's the ley line. That's where, in theory, you should be able to sail parallel to that, make it to the top mark. Could be one last manoeuvre for Australia. Could be a chance to put a last-minute overtake on Diego Bottini and team.
This is the penultimate leg of race number 6, the second race of the day on Super Sunday from San Francisco. Look at that view as Spain comes in trying to protect their position, and there you see the Rolex chasing time between France and New Zealand. Why do we show you that? Because France is currently in 4th place, and they are trying to pick up as many valuable points as possible.
Yeah, they've gained 1 up here, haven't they? But it looks pretty well set for the Spanish. New Zealand, well, can they get across in front of France? France desperately need points.
I see the mark.
Yeah, this is going to be really crucial for France because at the moment Canada aren't picking up any points from this race at all, so they need to be up in 3rd or 4th to give them the best chance of making the final.
So Spain makes the turn on the final mark, and it is straight to the finish line for them. It looks like Australia will have to settle for 2nd place as Tom Slingsby unable to reel in Diego Bottini, and those are the 2 champions in the 4 seasons contested so far in SailGP, and the Emirates winning moment goes the way of the Spanish here in San Francisco in race 6.
France are potentially going to be back behind the Swiss here. They've got the right of way, but Switzerland done a great job of coming wide. Let the French in. Now drop the hammer. Pull the accelerator and push. Whoa. Beautiful work by Seb Schneider. They set that up well and executed it brilliantly, but that's not good news for the French. Another place dropped. That's going to leave them quite well behind the Canadians as it stands. And can Canada gain any more points on this final upwind leg for them?
So France with that new markings on the wing with Kylian Mbappe being part of that team. The good folks at L'Oreal also joining the party. It'll be Red Bull Italy coming in 6th place. Rogero Tita and his squad doing a great job. And Emirates GBR, nice bounce back for them as they've had a couple disastrous races. They will finish in 7th.
Yeah, tight there. Brazil have got to give room to the United States. The United States execute a great manoeuvre on the inside of Brazil, but Canada has gained a place. That's a point. That's going to give them something in this race. They would have had no points. They've got a point, so they are going to move a little further. They'll be 5 points ahead of the French going into the final race in qualifying here.
That could turn out to be a huge situation as the Americans come through. Good race for Taylor Canfield and company as they finish in 8th place. The Brazilians grab 9th, and the final points going to North Star Canada, with Germany Deutsche Bank being kept out of the points.
Let's go H1 on port, get the chase in to have a look at that foil.
Oh, so maybe they've clipped something out there. If they're not sure of what's happening, there's, you know, potential little bits of chippage on the foil.
All right, let's take a look at some standings. We're all even at the top with Spain and Australia, even on 47 points. North Star Canada picks up that valuable point, so now they are 5 points clear of France with just one more race to go. Switzerland just on the outside looking in with New Zealand, Red Bull Italy, and of course Emirates GBR. Tough weekend from Mubadala Brazil, Germany Deutsche Bank, and the United States down there with just 8 points. So all attention now turns to race number 7, the final race before the final. Before we get to that, the flight time courtesy of Emirates. And once again, how about the Kiwis bouncing back nicely, Stevie? They haven't had their name called a lot this weekend, but getting 100% flight time, that is a big plus.
Yeah, it's been a tricky weekend for them so far, but getting confidence.
So we have reached the 7th and final fleet race. After that, only the top 3 teams will race out on the Pacific in San Francisco in front of a sold-out crowd. It is Super Sunday at the Oracle San Francisco Sail Grand Prix, the Rolex Sail GP Championship.
Competition is heating up in the Impact League, SailGP's podium for the planet. Judges allocate points to teams that take action to protect the planet and make sailing more inclusive. There are 4 focus areas across the season: race to zero waste, accelerating inclusion, climate action, and breaking boundaries. In San Francisco, it was announced that North Star Canada took the 3rd place spot in the focus area Race to Zero Waste with the inventive sailing kit donation program North Star Locker, giving away kit to aspiring Canadian sailors in and out of their weekend foil program.
We have 11 North Star lockers across the country. Local clubs are getting involved in upcycling their own clothing, and that way the pieces get a second life and don't go to waste. So we've saved something like over 100 kilos of clothing just this season.
Emirates Great Britain were awarded 2nd place for their programme of reusing sailing kit, choosing to repurpose rather than reproduce kit. Independent judges also praised Emirates GBR's efforts to learn more about micro-recycling in Sydney and their climate-focused content series.
It's absolutely incredible what they do here at Banish, and to see the level of detail and what you can create when you've got to do it properly is really sustainable in the future.
But it was Mubadala Brazil who took the top spot in Race to Zero Waste for their incredible work on Pombeira Island, Guanabara Bay, Brazil.
Uma ilha que de longe parece paraíso, mas quando a gente chega aqui a gente percebe que onde a gente está pisando é praticamente só plástico.
With help from local fishermen, Martine and her team helped clear over 4 tons of waste from the protected island.
The most we can do on our teams, within our reach is always very important, but it's also very important to spread the message. So I think the education part of it was also pretty important.
So just moments away from the start of race number 7, the final fleet race, and it is a big moment for Team France. Just a short time ago, Lisa Darmanin caught up with the French to find out their strategy in race 7.
Quentin, it's all full on here, fighting for every point. How is it?
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, good fight with the Swiss on this one, and I mean the conditions are awesome, so it's good fun.
And Kevin, it's pretty intense out here, trying to get the most out of the F50, fighting to the very end. What's the key?
The key is to get the boat upside. It's really tricky, and the boat is accelerating really fast and decelerating also. So try to get a good average in boat speed, and boat is easy.
And full throttle for the start. Is that the plan for this one?
Yeah, of course. Start is they are really important. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
All right, thank you, Lisa, as the French now have to pull off some serious magic here as we are under 4.5 minutes to go until the final fleet race here in San Francisco. Well, SailGP is constantly innovating and pushing technology to the edge, and this season the new light air T-foils will be rolled out to the 12-boat fleet, keeping the action going even in lighter wind conditions.
So the same way that we've developed this new T-foil heavy air package, we're trying to push the boundaries of what we can do in light air as well. So we're developing a new T-foil light air package to be able to push the wind range down and provide a better racing product further down the wind range.
They perform really well, and we expect that they should allow us to foil the boat in maybe 6 knots of true wind speed.
The main difference is the surface area, so the overall amount of lifting force that foil is going to give you. With the lighter airfoils, it's going to have more surface area, which is going to have more lifting force, which is going to allow you to take off out of the water at a lower boat speed. It's going to be able to land foiling maneuvers at slower boat speeds, but there's always a trade-off. So when you have more area, you have more drag.
In the testing that we've done, these foils actually perform pretty darn well in medium winds. We've sailed 1 day so far on them in 12 to 15 knots of wind. They performed really well. So I'm kind of excited about that because we have a big area of performance crossover between the high-speed foils and the low-speed foils that's going to make it hard to have the wrong foil on for the day.
The F50 is the best boat when it's flying. So with the calendar being so expansive now, I think we have almost 13 plus events this year. We're going all over the planet. We need to be able to adjust to both heavy and light air conditions.
Under 2.5 minutes to go here at the Rolex SailGP Championship in San Francisco as the teams now get themselves into position with points at an absolute premium. They're used to the event leaderboard provided by the Oracle Cloud. The data churned out. Stevie, this really is a battle between those top 4 teams. France, it just looks like Switzerland's going to just come up a few points short, but France still has a shot.
France still got a shot. I mean, mathematically, actually, New Zealand have a shot, but New Zealand need Canada to be last, and Switzerland. We've got to remember as well, when we get to this, if there is a tiebreaker, it'll be whoever beats whoever in the last race. I think that's something quite important to hold on to through this next phase. But yeah, really it's Canada v France. But what I think I'm seeing out of the race course today, Hannah, and I don't know if you'll agree or not, but is any of the teams, if they get out in front, are good enough to win the race. So it is going to come down to having the bravery, the execution, and the commitment to a good start.
Yeah, and I think bravery is going to be really key because the teams that are in contention have really got to attack this race. They can't afford to make any mistakes, and you can't control all the other boats, so it's just about executing your best performance.
And momentum indeed. Only 2 teams have won 2 races of the 6 contested so far. Spain, 2-time winners, as are Canada, Stevie. So I got to think they've got to be favorites. And then, of course, you can never count out the Australians and Tom Slingsby.
No, Canada's first mistake for a couple of weekends was a minute ago. Can they turn it round?
1 minute to go as the fog now encompasses the Golden Gate Bridge, but we are still full go here. This is race number 7 at the Oracle San Francisco Sail Grand Prix, and this will determine what 3 teams will race in the event final.
Oh, it's good to see that. Fog's rolling in a little bit away from our racetrack here, Todd, as we see all the boats early back. Once again, United States turn back. Best result this weekend is an 8th. It's not a great weekend for the United States team. They need to hit the start line hard and fast in this race. Oh, Brazil are very loose, right-hand side of screen above New Zealand. No incident. That's good news. That all got a bit lively in there now. Favoured position is that blue triangle, but the Rolex Pro Predictor sits on board the United States, and they have a big gap in the line. Australia, top of screen, are going to try and be fast at the top. Slingsby's going to be coming in very, very hot. The French, well, he's got to make something happen, and De La Pierre is in true fashion being very aggressive at the bottom. It's all about timing now. Nowhere for United. Oh, disaster for Australia. The wing's fallen down. massive incidents there. Oh, my Lord. Oh, that was a huge moment. Let's hope no one's hurt on that. Oh, my, wow. There was no gap for them to go into there, and that is no good. Really bad. As we lead towards Mark 1, France are going to be on the inside. They're going to be well positioned. They need to win the race, and, well, they're well set to win the race now.
At mark number 1, all concerned with the Australians to make sure everyone's okay. Similar incident that happened in New Zealand last season, but the race is on here in race number 7. It is New Zealand, it is France out in front.
Oh, that's huge. Here we go. Excellent manoeuvre there by the Kiwis. They're going to set up. France have moved away. Now, France need to win the race to get themselves in the final. This would be enough to make the final, I think, at the moment. If they can do that, let's worry about that in a moment. And Canada out the back as well. So Canada struggling here. Spain struggling. Go into that Oracle Cloud, and we can see it's New Zealand are the fastest boat on the racetrack at the moment. Burling is sending it on board the black foils. He's not giving up any hope of getting there either right now.
And it's Canada currently who would lose out on making that spot in the final. So the French have just got to hold their heads, hold their nerve all the way around the course.
Spain, France, and Canada right now would go into the final, but all concerned right now on Australia, making sure everyone's okay. Catastrophic incident in the start box before the line went wide and the start was on. It is New Zealand, France, Brazil, Germany right now.
Yeah, big lead change there. It looks like we've just heard news now that everyone is safe on that Australian boat. I can't help but say I'm very relieved to hear that. Massive incident. We'll get back to the live racing, and we can see that Peter Burling, well, he's put the hammer down there. He's going across that tide line. Look how turbulent the water is there. So hard. The boats are hobby-horsing through that water. The turbulent water making it so hard. Black foils have made it. Leo Takahashi holding on like a cowboy rider there. He's got them round, and they're going to lead at the DP World Gate 2.
Well, New Zealand's best finish so far, Stevie, has been a third. That was in race number 4. As everyone's taking a collective deep breath after that incident at the start of race number 7 with the Aussies.
Yeah, here we go. Canada look back of the pack again, 8th. I think that's not good news for Canada as it sits. Really not good news for them at all. They've got to start gaining some points with France out in front, Spain in 4th. I mean, Australia. There's no chance you get an Australian boat back, so that might be enough to make Canada in, as I think they'll be still, you know, in that top 4, and it's only going to be 3 of 4 going through to it here, as we see New Zealand out in front, well positioned. Right of way, Germany and Brazil. Real tussle in the middle of the pack, well judged by the Brazilians, and this race course is wide open.
Like 3 of 6 in the final fleet race of the day. We want to take you back to the start. Everyone's okay, but keep your eye on the Australian boat there as it comes into view, left-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, well, they just come in, and they come in really close to those boats behind. I think maybe they came into the back of the Italian boat. That was my inclination there, and perhaps, here we go, we're going to look on board the US boat. We're looking to the left-hand side of our screen to see if we can see the US, the Australians. Here go, come the Australians. Ooh, oh my, unbelievable. We're going to have to wait to find out more. I don't know what's happened there exactly, whether that's just a failure on a fitting there. I thought they must have hit another boat in front. I think maybe they just nudged into a boat in front, and then that damaged the forestay on that. We're going to have to see things closer. Camera angle's not right. I mean, that's spectacular scenes. That is not what we want to see, but what's the good news is everyone's okay. Oh, my Lord.
Everyone's okay and accounted for on Australia, but their day is done. Canada was the first team to call that in, and they just basically wing it down. So now the race back on. This is a situation. It would be Spain, Canada, and France now, the top 3, with Australia out of the running. And Hannah, still plenty to play for here on leg 3 of 6. The race to the final with the Australians. To Stevie's point, there's no way they can race today anymore.
No, that's right. And I think Canada actually here have done a really good job. It's saying they're up to 4th. They'll have to go behind Spain in a moment, so maybe 5th or 6th. But they can keep climbing. They'll want some confidence going into that final race when they make it.
Yeah, it looks like a good gain in by the short of Brazil there, Lisa. Is it changing on the racetrack weather-wise at the moment?
Yeah, I think the day's certainly changing. The shore is definitely paying off a little bit better. It's getting lighter out to sea. It is lighter in general. The wind seems to sort of pulsing, so we're getting this really nice puff of breeze, and that's when the right side offshore comes good. And when it gets a little bit lighter, actually the shore seems quite strong.
Lisa, I've got to ask you a follow-up question there. How close were you, or were you close to that Australia incident? And from your perspective, what happened?
Yeah, it was terrifying. I was right near them. It was a huge bang. It looked like as they came in, they were looking for that gap. Big side slip and that side force, you know, in the past, maybe it just basically the wing stayed and the boat went sideways and, yeah, it just collapsed. And glad to see all those heads pop up okay.
Absolutely. So all the Australian teammates on board are safe and accounted for. And another tight situation here.
Jason, they've got to keep clear. Comms were off. Wow, Giles Scott. Cat-like reactions by Giles Scott. Well done on board North Star Canada there. That was a huge mistake by the Swiss team. I think the boats are okay, but they big penalty. There you go. That was a no-brainer for Chief Umpire Craig Mitchell in the Emirates umpire studio there on the bottom left-hand corner. Just not seeing it, or the comms weren't right. I don't know. Everyone's flustered, Todd.
Stevie, I've got to figure this race number 7 here in San Francisco is going to age Craig Mitchell about a decade just on this weekend alone.
Yeah, certainly not proving to be lucky number 7 at the moment, but right out in front, New Zealand is stretching away. France are still doing what they need to do, and Canada, well, they're maybe starting to get the wheels back on the bus. The boat's in one piece, that's the most important thing, and they are making gains through the fleet. They're just doing the simple things well, Hannah.
Yeah, they are, and, you know, unfortunately for New Zealand, this won't be enough for them to make the final, but to take the last fleet race win would be definitely something that's good for them.
So Canada, that was mired back in 9th place, they have moved up to 5th. They have righted the ship, so to speak. Spain sits in 4th place right now, and there you see it, courtesy of the Oracle Cloud, the race to the final. Spain on 54 points, Canada 49, France in at 47, and Australia with that catastrophic incident in the start box. Their day is done, so that's what we're looking at right now. Now, things can change. This is like 4 of 6, but the way it plays out, New Zealand looks like they are going to pull off a win. Stevie, I don't think France is going to push it too hard, but look at Brazil coming in with a 3rd. That would be huge for them.
Brazil sailing great in this race, and in fact, it's meant the French have had to shut the door on them and try and block them off. Points are tied at the moment, and it's a tiebreaker gets you through to the final, so they are level on points, France. They need to really stay second, but then the Aussies aren't going to sail, so even if they're behind, the French will be in the final. But you can see the Brazilians, this could be a season-defining race for them in these tricky conditions. They're starting to really look at grips with it. Marchini, look at that. She's going to put an overtake in on the French here. The Brazilians are on fire.
Of course, the next event will be the NL Rio Sail Grand Prix. That's coming up May 3rd and 4th in Rio. This is the first time Sail GP heads to South America. And right now, all we're thinking about is Australia. Will they be able to sail in time for that race in Brazil? Back to live racing action. This is like 5 of 6, the penultimate leg. It's up to the top of the course and then the left-hand turn. And as the black foil is putting distance on everyone, but this is a little too late, Hannah, as the Kiwis did not have their best form on Saturday.
No, and all of these races count for even, so, you know, you've got to put good results in on both Saturday and Sunday if you want to make the final.
Yeah, Spain, look at this move. Spain have the right of way here, Todd. It's definitely more wind towards the bottom of our screen, away from San Fran at the moment. Lisa said that's changing around, but it's a big gain to Spain.
Spanish maintain that priority as France and Brazil have to dip behind them as the Spanish move into 2nd place. Of course, they are the champions from last year, and there you see it continually being updated on the point situation with the Oracle Cloud, but it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. It will be Spain, Canada, and France. And so, Stevie, in play for Spain and France to, again, make it a 5th different winner in 5 events here in Sail GP.
Yeah, so I think, and I'm just going to clarify things here. Even if France drop back and are 4th on points, because Australia can't sail, we will have 3 boats in the final, and it will be whoever's in 4th. So, you know, terrible news obviously for the Australians, but just so everyone's aware, even if we see France end up 4th on the points, they will race on the final here. So it's pretty much, we're going to look at those 4 teams. New Zealand, I don't think, are going to be able to do enough from here, despite the race win, but the French are still sailing well. They're still right in it. Canada did have a little bit of a buffer as well. So it's been a great final race for New Zealand. They've just been really hamstrung by the starting this weekend. And when they get a good start, which they did here, look at that. They just put on a masterclass.
Yeah, 2 8th-place finishes out of the 7 fleet races really kind of did the Kiwis in, and we know they'll bounce back big time in May when they get down to Brazil. But it is New Zealand, Spain, France, Brazil, and Canada, the top 5, as they make their way around. It'll be the Kiwis, the Black Foils, as they'll bring it home in front of the sold-out grandstand here in San Francisco. And it will be the Black Foils, the New Zealand squad, as they get the Emirates winning moment. The Kiwis win race number 7.
Fans from New Zealand. Maybe not the right time to be talking about it, Todd, but you see left-hand side of screen, United States are back to 10th. Home event, no event's better than 8th. When are things going to change? Have things got to change? What have they got to do, Hannah?
Well, I think it's really clear they're lacking experience on board. Some of the lighter wind venues they're getting the hang of, but something like San Francisco, conditions are challenging here, and it's hard to sail in F50.
Spain will get second place. France will hold on for third, so a big pickup for them, even though to Stevie's point, they were going to make it in that final because of Australia's mishap. And then it'll be Brazil finishing on an up note. Mubadala Brazil will finish in fourth place. Canada will come into fifth.
Starting to get gusty in there. Brazil, what a great result by Mubadala Brazil, Marcini Grail. They're going to be really happy. And Canada, they didn't make it easy for themselves today after a bit of a masterclass out there by them yesterday. They were the quality of the fleet, but right now, I do think that Spanish team are the form boat going into the final. Last two races, the momentum is really with them.
Emirates GBR will finish with a 6th on the final race. The Swiss, who've been really sporty, Stevie, over the last 2 days, they've been sailing with so much more confidence. They will come across the line and finish in 7th, just barely ahead of Germany Deutsche Bank, who will finish in 8th. And now the battle is on. Who's going to get 9th and 10th? And it looks like Red Bull Italy just ahead of the Americans.
Penalty sign up on the Americans. It was for a boundary penalty, so I would have thought that will scrub off fairly easily here. But they're in a big gust of wind at the moment. They're diving for the inside of the line. Looks like Reggie Tita's going to get through in 9th. And yeah, I mean, that's a tough weekend for these newer teams, the lesser experienced teams in these big conditions here in San Fran. Well, there's going to be some sore wounds, sore egos out there in those boats.
So the 7 fleet races are now complete at the Oracle San Francisco Sail Grand Prix. This is event number 5, and here you are. Spain on 56 points. North Star Canada on 49, the winners of the last event in Los Angeles, and Australia in 3rd. But if you're just joining us, oh my. The Australians having a moment in the start box as their wing collapses. They will not be able to race in the final. And it will be France and Quentin Delapierre that will be bumped into that 3rd place position. So it will be Spain, Canada, and France doing battle in the event final here in San Francisco. So now the debrief begins, and for Spain, Canada, and France, it'll be a quick turnaround. We go on board with the Spanish squad, the defending champions from season 4. Diego, the incident with Australia, or were they behind you?
No, we didn't see anything. We just met them on the second downwind. I hope everyone is okay there.
Yeah, Diego, well, we can tell you we've heard that everyone is okay. I mean, obviously, very, very frightening incident out there. Now, take us back a little while, and you know how to win here when it really matters in San Francisco. What's going to be crucial for you in this final?
The start is going to be a big one. We're going to focus to try to be first at M1, and if not, there are also some opportunities around the course, and we will try to play it better than the others.
Florian, we have to ask you as well, if you have a moment, what is going to be the key getting to that line? Because when you guys get a good start, Florian, you guys are tough to beat.
Yeah, we want to get ripping like we did last year, and we already spoke about the plan. We won't change much, but it feels like in the final races, boats get engaged and one is free. So we'll try to be that boat setting more freely on the start line and then try to defend from there. But yeah, we're going to push as much as we can, and we know.
Diego Botín, Florian Trittel, thank you for your time, gentlemen. They are the defending champions from season 4, and they will be in the final here in San Francisco after an exciting heart in your throat moment. Race number 7, Stevie, here it is one more time.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of drama at the top of the line, but it was New Zealand that managed to find space and speed at the gun, and well, they were absolutely blasting into that first mark. They were just absolutely clinical in there, but yeah, well, this is a huge moment. We're going to debrief what happened. Either a lot of side load going through the rig, or they caught something, I'm not sure, but obviously terminal for the Australians, and we just wish them well in the journey towards Rio from here, of course. But yeah, we just see that when you're out in front, and as Diego alluded to, if you can lead at Mark 1, doesn't half make your race look easy. Burling made it look a masterclass from that.
Yeah, not only is it easier to sail the boat, you also get the choice of which mark you take much easier. So getting out in front in conditions like this is really an advantage. But we saw the middle of the fleet again, really tricky to get around those gate marks without interacting with other boats.
So winners of race number 7, New Zealand get it done, but it's a little too late, and it will be Spain, Canada, and France that will race in the event final. What a race. I tell you, it had a little bit of everything, but in the end, the Black Foils really showed their form, Stevie. But again, too many 8th-place finishes, I think, on Saturday kind of did them in.
Yeah, the story of season 5 for them is they just haven't been good enough at the start. We know when they start well, they can do it. That's a relatively easy fix, though. We know they can make that happen.
And the Emirates fly time goes the way of Canada. North Star Canada, 100%. You can't get much better than that. We'll see if they can carry that momentum from Los Angeles and pick up yet another win here in San Francisco. So the race is really on. Grab yourself a beverage and a front row seat, because when we return, it will be the event final. 3 teams going head to head to head. Spain, Canada, and France. Who will take the title at the Oracle San Francisco Sail Grand Prix?
SailGP, in partnership with Emirates, is collaborating with ReefGen.
We're trying to drive the cost down and the scale up for underwater habitat restoration, with a specific focus on seagrass meadows and coral reefs.
This will help train students from the Northwest Indian College in advanced seagrass restoration techniques using ReefGen's robotic systems.
So seagrass is so amazing. It's the habitat, it's the nursery grounds for fish species, it's the food for sea turtles and dugongs and manatees. It's just an amazing, amazing ecosystem.
On the downside, they are getting destroyed a lot by either dredging or pesticides or just overnutrition from fertilizers getting into the water. The athletes got a chance to come and take the robot for a spin, so they got to be on the controllers.
I got to drive the little robot around with looked like an Xbox controller. It's pretty cool stuff. High tech, as you'd expect here in San Francisco.
And we got a little go at driving the robot, which is really cool, in the tank, and just learning about everything to do with seagrass and its kind of place in the ecosystem and how important it is to look after it.
They plant seagrass something like 5 times faster than a human can do it.
Anyone else want to play?
Here we saw the importance of seagrass, but also like everyone being aware of how important the sea is to our living. You know, it's not only food, it's not only protection, but it's like the life within it is responsible for keeping it how it is. And if we take that life out of it, it's just going to slowly degrade.
So our mission is to get our systems into hands of practitioners on every continent, in every ocean, so that we can see and believe that underwater tractors can make a dent in the problem. Robots can be a force multiplier for good.
Flying carbon machines driven by the world's best. Yes, powered by nature, powered by nature. We are SailGP.
Super Sunday at the Oracle San Francisco Sail Grand Prix, Event 5 of Season 5, the Rolex Sail GP Championship. Stevie Morrison, Hannah Diamond, Lisa Darmanin, and Todd Harris with you here, the city by the bay. So there are the 3 teams that will be competing in the event final. It will be Spain, it will be Canada, and it will be France. What a turn of events as the French, Stevie, who we've seen be eliminated by a point multiple times, they now are on the receiving end of a good break for them, and they're in the final.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they made it hard for themselves, but they're there, and they're going to want to make it count right now.
.219 to go before we start this race. We want to kick you back to the very start, the incident with Australia, and moments ago, Lisa Darmanin talking with the driver of Australia, Tom Slingsby.
Tom, obviously absolutely devastating news for your team. Just let us know sort of that feeling on the boat, and is everyone okay?
Yeah, it's a bit of shock, obviously. Very scary situation. We all are unharmed and we're all okay, but when something like that happens, all you think about is everyone going to get through this? And yeah, fortunately, we're all safe, and that's the first priority, and now we just got to try to save the boat as best we can.
Yeah, big salvage operation happening here. Sorry to hear, I guess it was a good day and then just devastating.
Yeah, no, it's heartbreaking. Obviously the results and the points what they are. We're not even concerned about that. It's just saving the boat the best we can. Everyone's safe, and yeah, look, we've got a lot of work to do here.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, thank you very much, Lisa, for the very latest. Stevie, that is a scary situation. Hannah, that's like something we haven't seen in a long time. Only I can think of is the situation that happened with New Zealand last year.
Yeah, I can safely say that was a horrible moment to have to discuss, but fantastic to hear everything's all right. And, you know, one thing I know about Tom Slingsby, he's a fighter, and he's going to not let that team drop their heads. They're going to fight really, really hard. But now it's the fight out here, Todd.
All right, the race at hand as we come up on 45 seconds to go until the event final here at the Oracle San Francisco Sail Grand Prix. Spain, Canada, and France. Hannah Diamond, pick your poison. Who do you like?
Well, that's a tough call here. I think the Spanish are lined up nicely, and I wouldn't bet against them.
Well, here we go. You can see that you're all going to be trying to get the downwind inside end of the line, and the attackers in this situation are going to be Canada. They're the furthest back. Spain have kind of made their bed, and they're looking to put it out.
Here we go, 15 seconds before the start of the event final.
All about being clear at this start is what Diego Bortin said. As we can see now, out of the fog, it's going to be North Star Canada threading the needle between the fleet here, looking for that line to turn right, and it's all about the timing. Oh, the French have nailed it, Todd. They're on the inside, they're fast, they're foiling hard, they've got the right of way, and I do not see anyone leading this French team ahead at Mark 1.
Like a scene out of Master and Commander as they emerge from the fog and they approach mark number 1. It will be the French who get in just barely into the event final, and they will pick up the whole shot here in San Francisco.
Oh, they nailed that start when they needed to. They came through on the attack. Spain are going to have a lovely dive down at Mark 1 and expect them to manoeuvre away first here. There they go in the background. That had to be the call in third place. Canada move away behind. Not the best manoeuvre, and France cover. Now it's going to be a sprint as they all try and line up gate 2. That's the first opportunity for a split, Hannah, but I love where the French are right now. Darker patch there, looks like they found breeze.
Yeah, and the breeze has definitely picked up since the last race, so they've got to be aware that the manoeuvres are going to be slightly different, but Spain had to split at that point. They had to make that first manoeuvre, but I think France are lined up really nicely for the bottom gate.
Don't need to speak a lot of French to understand that super means they're pretty happy on board that French boat right now, and they've really got a big lead, 100 metres there. We're seeing that Oracle cloud is telling us that they are just constantly faster on board the French boat at the moment. They're just in good breeze, they're moving ahead. And now at gate 2, big decision. I suspect the French will take the right turn. They'll keep it simple, one more manoeuvre right turn. The interesting one, Spain manoeuvre early. I suspect they'll look for a left turn, try and split the course, but is there opportunities on the race course for an overtake, or have the French already done it?
There's the maneuver as the French come in now at the bottom of the course. This is gate number 2, the DP World Gate. It is France by 100 meters. Don't count out the Canadians, Stevie. We've seen this before. We saw it in Los Angeles. It looks like they were not going to be in the top spot, and they came back and got the pass.
Yeah, it's not. This race is way far from over. We're only on just coming onto leg 3 of 6. We're not even anywhere near halfway, really. And it is Spain who do split away. No surprise there. Constant attack for Botin. And Lisa, what's the breeze looking like down there on the water? Is it looking better offshore still?
Good pressure.
Yeah, I mean, the fog has come all the way into the bay now, so it's changed the game a little bit. I think the Spanish, they're in really good breeze, but where the French are, where originally it was quite light, there is breeze there now, so it's kind of, it's changed again, and I think the French are probably still in a strong position.
So you see the visibility down closer to the water, and this could be a situation with that fog where they might not know where the other team is. But they right now have good visibility as they go through that chopped up water. Spain has the advantage, or right away, I should say.
Yeah, and they've made the jump there over Canada. That obviously was a good call to take that left turn, and now they're sailing into slightly less tide as they get closer to that shoreline.
Right of way Spain here, Hannah, and it looks like they're going to get it. Oh, we called it. Left turn at the bottom was huge. This race is all wide open, but the Spanish boat right now looks so fast.
Yeah, they look really nice and settled now. The breeze is up, don't they? So they're going to be hard to beat from here, but I know that the French will keep pushing.
The thing to remember as well here, Todd, is that the Spanish made a gain by coming away from San Francisco. That's where France are going, where the North Star Canada team are. So potentially Spain are sailing into less wind. Lisa did think it was a bit better on that side, but this race is going to keep going all the way to the wire.
With the San Francisco skyline as a backdrop, the French spin the boat around, currently in second place.
Big grinders across the front there. Matty Van Dam, he's straight across in there. Going to start pushing hard on those handles. And they've got the right of way when they meet back up with the Spanish.
Shooting flow, shooting. Yes, no problem, all good, we're clear.
Just a little bit unsure how they were looking on Canada, and Florian there, calm voice when it was needed. We're clear. I think they're just across, but are they across the French? This race is all on, Todd.
Here we go as they approach gate number 3.
Oh, Nicole sounded confident there. All good, they touched down. I mean, that's a marginal call, but she was confident. That's what you want to hear as a driver out there. Confident calls from your strategist. And to me right now, Spain looking face. Look at that, Nicole van Velden, still with that bad leg. She's struggling across the boat, but you can't say she's not a fighter. That is for sure. As in the background, Canada and France are having to take avoiding action, and that's going to mean a big gain for the Spanish team up at the top here. But another big decision. Do you turn left and head to the shore, or do you take this right turn and hope to find more breeze? Another crucial decision for the chasing boats here.
And here we go. It is Spain that'll make the decision first. And they will opt for the left-hand side, so they will go closer to shore. Who will split the course and who will follow?
I think the Canadians will split. They've got to. They're going to save manoeuvres. France are going to follow, but France are going to lose distance doing that. So really, I think for Spain, that was a huge moment. France always had to split. If they followed Canada, they would have just been sailing in disturbed wind, which they're just going to be sailing slower. At least now they got a chance to be fast, but doing that manoeuvre, they've lost meters in that.
So here it is, the situation at hand. It is Spain out in front. They will go down to the bottom of the course. They will turn, come back up, and then it'll be a left turn to the finish line. Can they hold off the Canadian? Giles Scott, he is a master-class sail, and we'll see what they can pull off. The two-time Olympic gold medalist in the fin class.
Well, they were elbows up in LA, weren't they? They were hoping for a bit of a double-double here in San Fran, but right now they're going to rely on a mistake for the Spanish because they're sailing really nicely on board that Spanish boat. Get last at gate 3, they were third at gate 3, Hannah, and look at this, nearly 200 metres ahead. I mean, they're going fast.
Yeah, they've got a really great lead. They definitely wanted that left turn at the top. I think they're coming down in really nice pressure at the moment, and if they just keep calm, they should be able to pick their game mark at the bottom and keep it nice and simple.
All right, Hannah, look at your crystal ball. Which way does Diego Botín and the Spanish go when they get to the bottom of the course? What do you think?
Well, I think they'll probably want to turn right. It looks like they're setting up just for the ley line there, so that means they don't have to have any more maneuvers, but Canada are catching up.
Look at the speed difference. Canada checking in around 76 kilometers an hour. The Spanish now just picking up their speed. They hold at 72.
Interesting call here. Yeah, I was going to say, Spain gained by coming away from San Francisco. So he's basically decided, let's do what we did work for us last time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep it simple. They're going to head away from the shore. The tricky decisions with the boats behind. Does Canada follow and try and secure this second place, or do they risk it all? It looks like they're going to try and secure it, so it's France, so they're going to roll the dice.
And they do. Quentin Delapierre and the French, they turn away. They will opt for the other side, looking for clean air. And now it is Giles Scott hoping that Diego Botín and the Spanish, the defending champions from season 4, make a mistake here as they head upwind.
Rolex chasing time, 7 seconds for the Canadians to catch up. And the trouble is, because Spain have pushed all the way to the boundary here, Canada are going to end up basically following them. And it's just control, control, control. I think Canada needed to manoeuvre a bit earlier after that gate if they were going to make more of a race of it. For me, Canada are almost saying, okay, you keep making the right decisions, Spain. We're just going to follow you and let you have it. Or, fingers crossed for a mistake, which we're just not seeing from that Spanish boat at the moment.
Spain just moments away from being the 5th team in season 5 to get a win out of 5 events. Stevie, who'd have thought that across the board? 5 different winners in 5 different events.
Well, they seem to like it here in San Francisco, don't they, the Spanish? I mean, they've led a final here, and there you go, Nicole there, good gains here. I mean, you can't wish to hear anything better than that.
On the way.
No, they just seem so calm and confident. They're in a controlling position here. The Canadians are going to have to either keep putting the pressure on, hoping for a mistake, but there's not a lot of options left to split from here.
No, Canada will manoeuvre next, probably, and then Spain will just go straight with them. And if they go all the way till they can get to the turning point, then the Spanish have got it in the bag anyway. There go Canada. Expect Spain to follow. Oh, Florian, we do our thing. Well, there you go. I'm surprised he's opened the door a little bit, but they weren't maybe ready for the manoeuvre there.
4, 3, 2, 1. Turning. And pressing out. Good. Nice. Pressing.
Surprised that Diego Botín does all this in English.
Yeah, I know. It's really impressive. It's great for the commentary, isn't it? It does save us having to do as much talking.
Leg 5 of 6. There is Canada. There is Spain on the right-hand side. Both of them will make a left-hand turn at this final mark as France comes into view. But it looks like the Spanish, Stevie, if they perform properly on this last maneuver, they've got this one in the bag.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. They've just sailed smooth, haven't they? And you can just tell that Diego and Nicole at the back have got a really special connection. They're really understanding each other. The calmness that comes in. Teams works clean. They've executed that well. Just about a turn now, and then they can enjoy once again an event-winning run to the finish here in San Fran.
3, 2, 1, I'm down. Yep.
They make the left-hand turn at the final mark, and there you see the finish line just ahead. As they come across the line, no big shocker here. They won 2 races in the fleet race, and now the Emirates winning moment. The celebration can begin. Spain rules San Francisco again.
I've watched Rafael Nadal win enough tennis events to know that Vamos is a good thing. And I might not speak a lot of Spanish, but what an Emirates winning moment that is there. It means a lot, doesn't it? Their season now is fully up and running. That's huge. North Star Canada, another good result for them. They're really the form team at the moment.
First event win since season 4 win in San Francisco for the Spanish as they claim this one at the Oracle San Francisco Sail Grand Prix. Diego Botín, Florian Trittel, the entire squad getting it done. Nicole Vandervelde and Stevie, you talked about it, the injured leg, but she did work on that boat today to get them in. France will come through and they will finish in 3rd, but they will pick up some valuable season points. Once again, tip your cap to the Spanish as they dominate on the Pacific. Plenty of room in the start box, Stevie and Hannah, and Spain was just right there every turn.
Yeah, well, Spain sort of led back into the start, so they were the hunted, really. Canada were aggressive, but it was De La Pierre that nailed the start. The Rolex best time start, 0.4 of a second back, but most importantly, he was going really, really fast. And at this point, he did a good job. But here's the crucial moment. Look. The split, the decision to take the left turn, sail away. Don't follow, don't sail in disturbed wind. Split the course. That's a pretty brave decision.
It takes some confidence to split away from the fleet, but actually if you're in 3rd, you've got nothing to lose at that point. So you've got to put everything on the line. You've got to be in it to win it.
You've got to be in, they certainly were. They had the right of way, and it was only a couple of metres. But when you've got the right of way, you only need to gain a couple of metres to let the other teams have to yield. It was tight all the way up, but I was so impressed by the comms on board that Spanish boat. They stayed pretty calm.
Yeah, for me, Spain is always a team that managed to raise the level. They stay so calm in the final, and they just really lift their level to give them the best chance to winning.
And the chase was on until the Emirates winning moment made it official. Hands in the air like they just don't care. And once again, Spain wins in San Francisco. Canada checks in to 2nd. France finishes in 3rd. 100% fly time for the Spanish, and would you expect anything else? Vamos! They get it done here. The Spain feeling right at home in San Francisco. So you take a look at the DP World fastest speed, and it goes the way of the Blackwell, Stevie, so they come away with a nice consolation pride at 86 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, when you get them out in front, they are so fast. You know, they got plenty of speed, but they got to work on their starting if they want to win one of these finals again.
What a day of racing in front of a sold-out crowd here in one of the most beautiful settings for sailing anywhere in the world. It is Spain that gets the win. Canada in 2nd, France in 3rd. Let's check in on the boat in Canada. Giles Scott in squad. Giles, not the finish you guys wanted, but you get into yet another final. You back up last weekend's 1st with a 2nd. Got to be feeling pretty good. That team is sailing so well together.
Yeah, we are. Look, we just had a little heads together after that final race, and yeah, we're a little bit disappointed with the way that we finished that off. We felt that we could have had half a shot at an amazing event, amazing time here on the West Coast, and yeah, we've had some good results, so we're in a good spot, and yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Appreciate the time, Giles. You guys did a great job once again. Annie Hager, Paul Campbell, James, and the rest of your crew. We'll see you in Rio. So as Canada settles for 2nd place, that is not a bad 2 weeks' work, Stevie and Hannah. They go 1st, they go 2nd. The West Coast has been very good to the neighbors to the north. A great job of sailing, but in the end, just too much Spain. No one could track down Diego Botín. They just made great decisions.
Yeah, they do, and I think, you know, some teams react better to pressure than others, and it seems like the Spanish have got a really good rhythm, and they just sailed away once they got ahead.
France gets into the final once again, and the moment I think a lot of people will be talking about, of course, is that incident with Australia. Let's go back to race number 5, the first race of the day, where the Swiss got the win because France had a foul at the end, Stevie. But France, Spain, they really served notice to start Super Sunday.
Yeah, they did, and we really saw these top teams kind of leading it away, didn't we? We saw that mistakes were pretty costly, but in the lighter wins, the French did look good. And I think the story of the day for me was that Spain grew the whole way through the day. They were very aggressive at the end of race 5, and then suddenly we get to race 6, and it's Spain hitting the start line perfectly. They're up and running, they're in really, really good shape, and it was the Spanish growing through the day. But as soon as you're back in the pack now in SailGP, you've got a big problem. Mistakes hurt, and they could even come to the best. They were the championship leaders. I don't think they're going to be championship leaders anymore after that mistake. And it's Spain that just led away, didn't they, here, Hannah?
Yeah, they did. And from there, you know, we saw how difficult it is to sail in the pack. But if you can get ahead, then build that momentum up until the final.
Yeah, they did. And, well, of course, this was it. This was the moment in the next race. It all looked so good for Australia there, and then this happened, top of screen. I mean, it was one of the more dramatic moments in SailGP history. They came in, there wasn't a gap there, and I mean, we're going to have to find out what happened. It's just like a lot of sideways force goes on the boat or something. I don't think there was contact with any of the other teams. Anyway, everyone was okay. That was the most important thing. Then it became this dramatic race for the final, which France, despite not quite doing enough, did get the berth in the final. We had some near moments for North Star Canada, and it put us up for what was one of the great SailGP finals, to be perfectly honest. 3 teams really going toe-to-toe.
New Zealand gets the win in race number 7 after that cat-like reflexes by Canada to avoid Switzerland. So here you go. Here's how it shakes down. Spain gets the win and the 10 points for the season. North Star Canada, they finish in 2nd. They'll pick up 9. And France finishing in 3rd. They pick up the 8 points all the way down to Germany. Deutsche Bank, they only pick up 1 point. And terrible weekend for U.S. SailGP as they get no points. So they've got one more opportunity